Welcome to the Drama Queen Perspective, a podcast designed to empower, inspire, educate, and entertain. Drama Queen is a philanthropist, educator, business owner, poet, and performer. So you will be entertained. Find out what's trending. Get a thumbs up or thumbs down on the hottest restaurants, places, and things. And find out ways to help your business grow. And much, much more. Without further ado, here is your host, Drama Queen.
What's up, everybody? It is your girl, Drama Queen, coming to you with another podcast episode about a new topic that I typically don't cover. But I'm about to tell y'all why I will be covering this for the rest of the season. See, what had happened was I am a girl that likes to, in my free time, which is very little free time, but in my free time, I like to indulge in a little gossip news, going on a little TMZ, a little gossip, a little media takeout. This is just something that I do every day. You know, might happen when I'm on the toilet, while I'm waiting for breakfast, while I'm at the doctor's office, whenever. So imagine scrolling through MediaTakeout.com and seeing a familiar face. And I was like, nah, that ain't who I thought. Wait, what? So I go ahead and I read the headline, and the headline says 90-day fiancé Bilal tricked Shaeeda to test whether she's a gold digger. But is he even rich? So okay, so now I have confirmation that the picture of the person I saw is who I thought, Bilal, who is someone that I happen to attend college with, and he is also my fraternity brother. I never would have imagined seeing him on Media Takeout. So, never have been a fan, never have watched 90 Day Fiancé, never understood really the premise of the show, never really cared to understand the premise of the show, but now the show has my attention. Now I understand why some of my classmates, family, friends, co-workers, enemies, when they saw me on a TV show 60 Days In, how they freaked out and how I got the calls, and they're like, what? I would have never thought that Shanice would have done that. Okay, so now it's being reciprocated and I'm feeling it. I'm like, whoa, what? So I immediately go in and I read the article. I'll read a little bit of the article here. The new season of 90 Day Fiancé focuses on one very interesting couple. Bilal, like Shaeeda, was born and raised in a traditional Muslim home, but claims to be rich and wants to avoid any dealings with the gold digger. But Media Takeout did some research on the reality star and learned that he may be embellishing his financial status a bit. Okay, so when I read that, one thing that I've known about Bilal, I've really never known him to be like an embellisher, a flashy person, a liar. So now I'm really interested in A, finish reading the article, but B, now I need to watch and see what this show is all about. So, says the storyline on 90 Day Fiancé is that Bilal suspects that Shaeeda is a gold digger and wanted to test her before walking down the aisle. So Bilal pretends to be poor and live in an old house to see how she will react. According to his LinkedIn page, he's been a realtor sales associate for the past 5 months in Leawood, Kansas. His website says he spent almost a decade being a licensed realtor, 15 years as a real estate investor, and 5 as a national public speaker. Bilal also showed his home on the latest episode of 90 Day Fiancé. Media Takeout staff went on the website Zillow and located comparable homes to the style and size of his home in Kansas City, Missouri, and they're running between $400,000 and $500,000. The home values are representative of a slightly above middle class home in St. Louis. And then there's the IG stunting. And I'm like, again, I know people can change, and who you are at, I met Bilal in 1998, my freshman year in college. I want to say, I can't remember if Bilal stayed in Logan Hall or Bashir's Hall at Missouri Western State University, but I think he stayed in Bashir's. But I met him in 1998, and I know that from people changed from 1998 to 2022. But the IG stunt, and I'm like, and I'm friends with him on social media. So I'm like, I don't really see this, but okay. So it says Bilal's IG posts show him in exotic places and in beautiful homes. In one picture, he's in a home with beautiful furnishings, presumably his home. I cannot talk today, y'all. My throat is not doing real well, but I had to get this video done, so excuse me. My throat is very tight from this thyroidectomy. But we gonna work it through, and we gonna get this done. So it says on closer inspection, he was actually stunting in a furniture store. Look at the tags on the items. Now I'm looking at the picture that they have, and it looks like he's at a furniture store. It looks like Media Takeout is reaching, but hey, you know what? Great job, Media Takeout, because now 90 Day Fiancé now has a new viewer. So I immediately start watching the show. On this podcast episode, I'm just going to talk about Bilal and my thoughts on him, my personal thoughts, knowing him as a person, as my frat brother, as a classmate, and how I feel about his trickery. So let's start with the beginning. So clearly, if you're watching this, listening to this, you have probably already watched at least the first 1, 2, and maybe even the first 3 episodes. So that being the case, you know that Bilal met her online. Beautiful, beautiful, talented young lady. Met her on social media. She reached out to him on social media. They had some common friends in common, and they talked for a little bit, and he went to visit her. He was feeling good vibes. He's like, "Ooh, this could maybe be the my next wife." So he plans a trip, and he plans to be there for 7 days, and he gets a ring because you know what? It's better to be prepared and have the ring and not need it than to need the ring and not have it. So, hey, frat brother, I respect that. So, he goes down there. He goes to see her. They have a great time. They bond. He's feeling it. He's like, yep, I want her to be my wife. So he proposes. And she agrees to move to Kansas City, Missouri, which is my hometown. And, everything looks great. And then COVID hits. So everything gets put on pause. So now we get a chance to look at what the last 2 years have looked like. And one of the things that I have a problem with, because whether I know you, I like you, I love you, you're my family, my frat, my soror, my friend, my foe, whatever, I'm going to give you my honest opinion. At the point when you proposed to her, you should have identified already if she was a gold digger or not. That should have been identified before you put a ring on her finger and asked her to move not to a new city, not to a new state, but a whole new country. So shame on you, Bilal, for that. Because I understand the premise of what you were doing, because I actually had an ex-boyfriend that did something very similar to me. However, the difference was this was on our first date. And what he did was he picked me up and we had talked. You know, I felt comfortable with this person. And so he picked me up from work. I let him know, hey, I'm going to take a picture of you. I need to see your driver's license. I'm letting my boss know who I'm hanging out with. And because I typically don't do this. I don't get in a car with strangers. I will meet you there. But it was something about this young man, so I just felt the need to go ahead and get in the car with him. So this particular guy was about 6'8", and he had an older 2-door car. Now, in my head, I was thinking, why in the hell is this big ass man in this little ass car? But hey, it is what it is. You know, anything, could be going on. Maybe he has another car. Maybe he has a car in the shop. Maybe this is all he can afford right now. Maybe cars aren't that important to him. Maybe that's not his love language, is material things. I don't know. I didn't care. We ended up spending 4 years together. He did have another car, had great jobs, more than one job, had a great house, had another car. So I get that. However, you cannot ask someone to move from another country and not show them what type of situationship you about to put them in. Because, see, she better than me, because I'm sorry, I wouldn't have agreed to come. And it's not being a gold digger. It's let's share. Let's get to know each other. Okay, yeah, I proposed to you in 7 days. But now, because of the pandemic, we now have 2 years to really get to know each other. So I'm sure she has shared her living conditions with him. I'm sure she's seen or he's seen her car. And so why not share that with her? You've already put a ring on it. You liked it enough to put a ring on it, but you didn't like it enough to be honest with her and show her the living conditions and the car that you drive. You're just showing her a white wall. That is not fair. If you wanted to see if she was a gold digger and you wanted to do that test should have been done before you gave her a ring. It is clear that there was physical attraction. There was maybe even a little mental and emotional and spiritual stimulation. But find out if she's a gold digger before you put a ring on it. You're doing stuff backwards. And that's why a lot of relationships now fail, is because we do things backwards. We don't do things the way that they're meant to be done. And then we're like, oh, I done had 12 kids by him, and then I realized he ain't the man that I thought he was going to be, or I thought he was going to be this type of person. You never got a chance to know him, because not in this situation I'm speaking of, but just in general, what we do, I've done as a person. Let me be clear, perfectly clear, and let you guys know I've done it. We open our legs as women and we get whipped, and then it's like, we miss the signs. That's why it's important to wait before you are physical with someone. It's important to really get to know them, get to know the mental side of them, get to know the emotional side of them, get to know the spiritual side of them before you get to know the physical side of them. Ask those questions. Usually they say people bring their representative the first 3 months. So that is why I am a believer that you should probably wait longer than 3 months before you propose. However, I've known of successful relationships where they propose in less than 3 months and are together now 10, 15, 20 years later. But shame on you. Shame on you. Now, it's so funny because I love when she's in the cargo van. Now, let me just say this. It's funny that I'm doing this video today because yesterday I thought about you, Bilal. I thought about you, Frat. I thought about you, Frat. Because I'm at Quick Trip and this dude pulls up in a cargo van. And he's like, hey, how you doing? Fine, I'm just trying to pump my gas, go to where I need to go. Oh, you're beautiful. Do you mind if I get your number? No, I do mind, and no, you can't have my number because I'm automatically thinking that you're a sex trafficker. I'm thinking you're a sex trafficker or like something like it's something up with you, and it's somebody back there in that cargo van that's gonna tie me up, and it's gonna be like a whole disaster, and I'm never gonna see my dogs again. And so it was just like a no for me. And so, you wanted to get the excitement that you would have got had you taken her to the original house and not try to play games with her. Now, again, I understand you want to make sure someone's genuine, but do that before you give them the ring. Now, here's my other issue. Really, this is my biggest issue. One of the things that Bilal said was that no one has lived in the house in 15 years. Bilal, it looked like no one lived in the house in 15 years. No disrespect. It's a blessing to still have your home that you grew up in, have access to it, and to even be able to film in there and share those memories and share that space with her. So let me be very clear. I'm not being disrespectful at all. What I'm saying is if you were going to use that house, make it make sense. Make it believable. It does not, knowing you, Bilal, and knowing your swag and the way you represent yourself, it doesn't match. It looks like she said, I feel like I've been deceived. When I saw that, and of course, I knew that it was deception there, but I was like, it didn't even feel believable. And I could see how she just felt like, what? Okay, so will the real Bilal please stand up? Will the real Bilal please stand up? I see how she felt that way. Like, they didn't show a lot, and they may show later on in the season. We're really early on in the season. They shown, some of her videos. Don't know exactly where they were recorded, but I can guarantee you the Bilal has seen her living standards and knew that house was going to be subpar to her living conditions. Now, if I'm moving from another country, I need to know. I'm not getting on this airplane without seeing what type of situation it is. I need to see not so much how big it is. I just want to see your style. You know what I'm saying? Am I going to have to come in and we're going to have to work and, make this look like ours? Or does it already look like your style? You don't even know my style. You just know my style from the 7 days that we spent, together in person and from social media. So how is that enough to determine if you really want to marry someone? We got to do better, guys, especially in the African American community, with stop rushing these relationships. These are reasons why one of the reasons why relationships don't work. So I have seen some spoilers that I won't share right now, but I will say the spoiler that I've seen is in line with if I thought upon watching episode 1 and 2, if I thought that they would make it. And the spoiler that I have received and the receipts that I have received are in line that I was on point with my thoughts and feelings. So in the end, Bilal, I think that if you wanted to play this game with her, then maybe you should have recorded some videos in your childhood home and let her see that in the car to see how she reacted before you even gave her a ring. Once you gave her that ring and you expected her to cross country, I think it's very selfish. I think it's very immature. And I think it's not fair for you to do that. I still love you, Fred. I do. I'm glad that up on episode 3 that you guys were able to get on the same page and still acknowledge we have some things to talk about. But I can see how her trust is kind of shaken a little bit by you. So you guys let me know what you think down in the comments. Was he wrong? Was he fronting? Was he stunting? What are your thoughts? Thanks for tuning in. And until next time, stay safe and stay blessed.
Thanks for listening to the Drama Queen Perspective. Be sure to like and subscribe this podcast and share with the drama queens in your life. Until next time, this has been the Drama Queen Perspective.